Hello, let's get started. I think we have enough people. Let's go ahead. So today we are going to start with the environment preparation. So in the last session, we have seen about the CDH introduction. Okay. So any questions from the last session that you have before we start? Are you all able to hear?
Yeah, we are able to hear you. Can I know which version we are going to learn?
Latest 24.2.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay, so just to recap for a minute on what we have seen in the last session. So let us go through that initially. So we have seen what is the purpose of next best action, and then we have seen the next best offer. So the next best action is the right offer to the right customer at right time, and then we have seen a scenario. Okay, so in this particular scenario, we have taken an example where Pega decisioning and Pega marketing is coming into picture. Okay, so all the first three icons are Pega decisioning, and the last three icons are Pega marketing. So here we have customer visiting the website, and the customer has got some offer, and then the customer is happy. Happy customers are made, right? So then we have the decisioning versus marketing. So Pega decisioning is purely logic based. That means you are only going to create the logic and it will identify to which customer, when we need to send, what offer we need to send. But Pega marketing will actually send the offer. Whatever Pega decisioning will tell, Pega marketing will simply follow that. So then we have the CDH portals. So in the CDH portals, we have Customer Decision Hub, Prediction Studio, and Next Best Action Advisor. Okay, Customer Decision Hub, Prediction Studio, and Next Best Action Advisor. Customer Decision Hub is what we are going to see in the everyday sessions. That is a main portal, which is Customer Decision Hub, where you do both Pega decisioning and Pega marketing. So then you have all these channels: email, SMS, website, retail, contact center. All these channels are there where you can do the marketing. Okay. So then we have seen inbound versus outbound. So inbound means customer is contacting the business, not exactly to buy something. It can be for any reason. For example, your mobile is not updated, your phone number is not updated. You are calling them, and then the customer care is promoting something. Outbound means business is only contacting the customers without customer contacting for any reason. Business is only keep on calling them or keep on sending the SMS, emails, etc. So that's what we have seen in the previous session. So today let us start with the environment preparation, and we will also create a new application.
Yeah, can you explain how inbound is marketing? Like customer is interacting with business, no?
Yes, correct.
But in last session, marketing means business when interacts with the customer, then it is called as marketing, you said.
No, I did not say that. I did not say that business interacting with customer, then it's not like that. Okay,
So
any promotion that you do, either from customer contacting the business or business contacting the customer, it is called marketing. Okay, so clearly I have mentioned the example also last time. Customer is calling to the customer care, let us say, to update his phone number. So the phone number is updated. Then business will try to promote some offer to the customer, right? So that is a marketing. So just if you are, so that's what I told you. If you are just calling to the customer care for some resolution and customer care is not promoting anything, that is not called marketing. So any kind of promotion is called as marketing only. Okay, clear? Or
yeah.
yeah. Sometimes the business will say, okay, sometimes the customer care will say you have some promotion. Sometimes he will not say, right? At that time, it's not marketing. Okay. So now coming to the
Ravi, one doubt. Like I could not understand this NBO and NBL. Both look same to me. Any difference?
Both are same. Both are same. There's no
Oh,
difference.
okay.
Yeah. Previous to 8.4, we used to call it as offer. Now we are calling it as action. Okay. Next best action, next best offer.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So today we are going to see the introduction to decisioning services, node classification, and debugging the services. All those things we are going to see. So before you actually start with application creation, you need to make sure you set up your environment properly. So you need to set up your environment properly in order to support Pega decisioning framework. To set up the environment properly, we have some services that we need to enable in our environment. What are those services which we need to enable in our environment? Let us go through. So this is very important where you prepare your Pega environment to support Pega decisioning. So the list of decisioning services are ADM, which stands for Adaptive Decision Manager. Okay, DDS, which stands for Decision Data Store. The first ADM, this particular service is responsible for managing and manipulating your adaptive models and predictive models. That means with the help of this service, your models will learn the information from the interaction history in order for future NBS, right? I told you last time, models, what they will do? They will analyze the customer's information and propose a next best action. Okay, one customer has purchased a mobile yesterday. Now for this customer, we need to promote a mobile case. That analysis will be done by the models. Now, how does this model know that, okay, this customer has purchased a mobile phone? How does the model know? It will be learning with the help of this service. So this service will take the data from interaction history. So interaction history is a component where every customer's interaction is recorded. That means you have opened an email, you have purchased an offer, okay, you have clicked the link in the email. All these things will be captured in the interaction history. So from the interaction history, this service will train the adaptive models and predictive models. That is the purpose of this service. Again, we'll see how to configure all those things. The second one that we have is decision data store. Decision data store is indirectly linked to Cassandra database. So Cassandra database is a recommended database from Pega for decisioning applications. What is the purpose of Cassandra means? Two main reasons. One is availability. Second is scalability. See, unlike other applications, in Pega, you directly deal with customers. You are doing some promotion, right? You are directly dealing with the customers. So the Cassandra database will help you with availability and scalability. That means 99.99% the database will be available without any downtime and all those things. Second reason is scalability. That means even with 1 million, 10 million customers also, the database will still give you the results faster. For example, in your traditional Oracle or PostgreSQL database, if you are having 10 million customers, it may take a lot of time to send an email or update the customer data, all those things. But that is not the case here. Even with 1 million, 10 million, 20 million also, Cassandra database will do the transaction faster. So two reasons, availability and scalability. Now, in order to do any manipulation with Cassandra database, you will be using DDS service. So without DDS service, you cannot insert a data into Cassandra, delete a data from Cassandra, update the data from Cassandra database. So that's a separate database again. We'll see how it looks like and all those things. But that is a recommended additional database apart from your PostgreSQL, apart from your Oracle database that you have. So your regular database will be there, but apart from that, you will have one more database, that is a Cassandra database. So this service is used to insert, delete, all the CRUD operations, create, read, update, delete, all those things. So the first service is for training adaptive model and predictive model. Second service is for Cassandra database. Then the third, fourth, fifth, these three services are needed for real-time data processing. Okay. Stream, RTDG, real-time. These three services are needed for real-time data processing. Real-time data processing means what? In CDH. See, generally, how does, see, the customer is purchasing a mobile phone. That is the example that we have taken. But that entire transaction might happen outside Pega, right? Customer might be opening some website, and on the website, the customer is purchasing some mobile phone. How does that information come to the Pega here? Okay. Just a minute. How does the information come to the Pega? Using real-time events. So that means the customer is purchasing a mobile phone outside of Pega, somewhere on the website or mobile application. That information has to be communicated to Pega, right? So that is taken care by these three services. So these three services are responsible for getting the real-time information from third-party systems. Okay. And again, the background processing, this you already know what happens in the background processing, that is agents, job scheduler, same thing. So overall, these are the services which you need to enable in your environment in order to make sure your CDH implementation is working as expected. So first service is for adaptive models and predictive models to learn. Second service is for Cassandra database manipulation. This particular service is entirely for Cassandra database. You want to delete something, insert something, edit something, all those things. The third, fourth, and fifth are used to retrieve the real-time data from third-party systems, like from website, mobile application, someone is making some transaction. We have to get into Pega. So these three services are responsible for that. Clear? Any questions still here?
So, are we using Kafka here for the streaming
Yeah,
services?
Kafka also we can use in order to receive. But that is not
And
a Pega decisioning, so I just did not mention that.
and which are the external services that needs to be connected for getting this real-time data about the customer events?
External services, I didn't get your question. It can be anything, right? It can be any system, depending on the business. See, some business will use website in order to receive the real-time events. Some business will use mobile application. Some business will use some software, where in the software, the customer is making the payments and all that. So it can be any system. From that system, you need to get into Pega. You need to get that information to Pega. So these three services will help on that. Okay.
Okay.
So different business will have different third-party systems like website, mobile application, softwares, and all that. So these services will help you to retrieve that information from those systems. How do we integrate all those? We will see it in the coming sessions. But for now, just remember the service names.
Yeah, hi, sorry. Can you please tell me what does ADM
Now,
exactly is?
before we go to the classification of these services, let us go through the node and cluster basic concepts. So what I am telling here is, I am telling that we need to enable these services in your application, in your environment. So how do I enable? How do I do that? So for that, you need to know something called node and cluster. So a node is nothing but a server where the Pega PRPC is installed, right? For example, in the server, the Pega PRPC will be installed, and in that server only you will be starting doing your implementation. Now you can have multiple nodes in order to maintain the performance and load balancing. For example, if one server is there, all the 10 million customers are using the same server, then it will become a downtime and it will be very difficult, right? So your server will go down. So you need to have multiple nodes, that is multiple servers, so that you can distribute your traffic among multiple nodes. Now, altogether, these nodes, collectively, you call it as cluster. Okay, collectively, you will call it as cluster. So in your production environment, you can have multiple clusters also, or multi-node environment. Multi-node environment means multiple servers are running, so that some nodes will have some services running, some nodes will have some other services running. So like that you do it. So that you call it as a node classification. Okay, that you call it as a node classification. That means in which server, what services should be running, that you can decide by using node classification. I can say node 1, run only background processing. In node 2, run the web users. So like that, you can classify the nodes, like which server should have which services running. Okay. Now in this node classification, you have two types of node classification. One is universal, second is manual. So in the backend, you can directly set node type equal to universal. That means what? Node type equal to universal means every single service will run in that particular node, along with whatever the decisioning services I told you, right? Along with that, every single service will run on that particular node if you say node type equal to universal. Otherwise, you have node type equal to manual. Manual means you need to set it manually. That's what you have to do. Okay. So generally you will set it to universal when you have only single server, that is single node. Okay. Then you can say node type equal to universal. That means every single Pega service run on this particular node. That is the meaning of that. Okay. But when you have multiple nodes, you can set it manually. You can set it manually. How do I set it? So if you go to this particular PPT, this is what you need to do. So I want all of you to try this whenever you get the time. If you have the personal edition, go to the installation folder where you have the personal edition. Under that Tomcat, under that bin, under that this particular path. Okay, let me just quickly open that. So I have the personal edition, so I'll just try to open it.
Hey, hi, am I audible?
Sorry, someone wants to talk or not?
Yeah, it's me, Satish here.
Yeah, hi, please tell me.
Yeah, kindly can you please just give a brief explanation about the ADM, which was the five services that needs to be.
Yeah, we have in the upcoming sessions, we have.
Like, I just need a one line definition for that, yes.
One line definition is what I told, right? ADM service is responsible for training your adaptive models and predictive models from the interaction history. Okay. It is used for training the adaptive models and predictive models from the interaction history data. Okay. That's what you can mention. Okay. So I went into the Pega folder. In this folder, go to the Tomcat. In this folder, you go to the bin folder. Then you have this particular file, which is called settnv.bat. So you need to right click this and you need to open this with the notepad, or you can just open it. Okay. So I'll just say edit with notepad. So then you will be getting like this. Okay. Here you see, I have a line. This is called D node type equal to stream, background processing, web user, search. Okay. So that is what I have, right? So either I can do this way. I can just say universal. Like this, I can say D node type equal to universal, or I can just append my services here like this. ADM, DDS, RTDG, real time, search. Okay, search is there at stream. Okay, so stream is also there. Okay, sorry. So ADM, DDS, RTDG, real time. So here you have this, right? So this is what you need to give. ADM, DDS, RTDG, real time, stream. So stream is already there. So I'm just adding this ADM, RTDG, DDS, real time. So this is what you need to do. And you just save this file. Okay. So remember the path. You need to do it in your server also. You need to do the same way. You need to get the access to the directory. Go to the folder, Tomcat bin, inside that settnv.bat. In that file, you need to set the values. Or you can also directly say D node type equal to universal. Directly you'll say universal. Universal means everything will run on that service, on that particular node. Okay, everything will run. So two ways, any way you can do it. That's what you can do. Okay, so let me start the
So
server.
Ravi, I just have a doubt. So I have this file in bin folder set env. Yeah, set env I have. I don't have set env.bat.
Yeah,
So
it might not look correctly, but right click it and open and update it.
yeah,
Okay.
the format is
Same.
same. Yeah.
It's the same only.
Okay,
For
sure.
some systems, you don't see the extension. Some systems it will show, but
Oh,
that's the correct file.
yeah, thank you.
Okay, one doubt here. So why, since we are using the cloud here, then why we are editing that in the
No,
personal
just
edition?
I'm showing you. Okay. See, we are not going to see in the personal edition. Since we don't have access to the cloud's server folders, I'm showing you in my personal edition.
Okay.
Okay.
And while opening this cloud server, it is showing it took like 10 to 15 minutes to open, then it is showing recycled.
Yeah, sometimes it will not work. So you need to try with different URLs. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it is not straightforward. Yeah. And also you need to make sure you select the latest version, 24.2. Okay. So if you are using old version, that might happen again. Okay. So I have started my the startup. So it's there, it's already running. So let us wait for a few minutes, but before that, we'll go with the other slides. So I can show you once the server is started, the nodes will be classified now. Now in this particular cloud, this classification is already done. So the environment classification, which is called as a node classification. How do I do that? By default, when you log into the CDH, you will be logged into the customer decision hub portal. So you need to go to the intelligence prediction studio.
Yeah, one question. So after enabling these services, right? How much is the memory consumption on the server?
So memory consumption won't be there, right? So this is only updating the service. So it depends on how much traffic that you are getting and how much load you are keeping it. So it is only it's only in KB, right? It's only in kilobytes. So the file, you're just adding 3 to 4 words, that's it. But the real traffic, it depends on the real traffic that you get and
So this
amount
will,
of.
so once we enable this, right, it will kick off some processes and some services, right? So I was asking in that regard that
Okay.
how
Yeah.
much,
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll check that one. Okay. I think it should be good enough, but I'll check and let you know that.
okay.
Okay. Yeah. So what I have done, I have came to the admin studio, and in the admin studio, I just came to the one node running. So this is where I clicked it. So here I can see all my services that are running. So this is the cloud version. So that means I don't have control, but it has been updated according to the Pega decisioning application. So for Pega decisioning application, we need these services, right? ADM, and you can see the DDS is not running. So we might not use DDS. ADM is there, batch, real-time, RTDG, and you see search, all these things are there. And the stream is not there. So again, we cannot use stream. So whichever are present here, all those things you can use the services here. So that's what you need to do. So once you run your setnv.bat configuration, you need to go to the admin studio and check whether the services are reflecting or not. That's what you need to do. Okay. So now let us go to the Dev Studio and also verify. So the first step of verification is you will verify the admin studio. That means in the admin studio, whatever services are running. Second thing is you will also go to the configure, and in the configure also you can verify. So if you go to the configure decisions infrastructure. So you need to verify at both the places. First place is in the admin studio. Second place is in the dev studio. So what I am verifying, I am verifying whether the nodes have been classified with this particular services or not, which is ADM, DDS, RTDG, stream, all these things. So let us go to that decisioning infrastructure services. So now if you see here, this is where I can see whether my infrastructure, right? This is the infrastructure is running properly or not. So I have the DDS and it is pointed to some other node. That's the reason, right? But if you see the ADM, this is actually pointed to the current node, but this is actually pointed to some other Cassandra service. Okay, it might be some external system to which it is pointed. That's why we are not saying in the admin studio. But you can see the status is normal. So you need to make sure the status is normal. So for the ADM, it is normal. For the DDS, it is normal. And for the RTDG, you see RTDG, stream. Okay. And if you go here, you have the real time. So all these services are having status as normal, which means your Pega decisioning services are running properly without any errors. That is the meaning of that. Okay. So that is what you have to verify. So first thing is you need to verify whether it's running properly in the admin studio. Second thing is you can also verify in the decisioning infrastructure. So what if in case this particular status is not normal? So like I told you, right? This particular service is responsible for training your Cassandra database and the adaptive model and the predictive model, the ADM service. This service is responsible for Cassandra database manipulation. I want to insert some data into Cassandra. I want to delete the data from Cassandra. All those things will be managed by DDS service. If this particular status is not normal, then what happens is you will not be able to do anything with Cassandra. Same thing here. If this particular status is not normal, then your adaptive model and predictive model will not learn anything. Okay. So the data will not be passed to the adaptive models and predictive models. Same way this also. If this particular status is not normal, then you might not be able to receive the real-time events from third-party systems. Like someone has made a payment, someone has purchased some particular product. All those things you cannot receive to the Pega because the status is not normal. So how do I fix it then? In case if this particular status is not normal, what should I do? So what you need to do is you need to ask your network administrator to restart the server. So 99% of the time, whenever the restart of the server happens, this status will again become normal. Okay. So initially, if you are facing some error or some status is not coming as normal, you need to ask for a restart because your implementation is not going to work. Your implementation is not going to work and you might face the errors. That is the reason you need to ask for a restart of the server. So that is what generally you need to do from your side. Okay, any questions still here?
Oh, yeah, what the status we can see other than normal?
Other than normal, you will see like error. Okay, you will see error. And sometimes you don't, you will see something like failed. Okay, joining failed. So joining failed means the service is unable to join with this particular IP. IP means this particular server's IP. So you'll see something like joining failed. That means it is not able to run, this particular service on this particular IP address. That is the meaning of that. Sometimes you might also see error. Even though it has connected, maybe due to some internal network issue, it is not able to do the processing. Sometimes you don't even see this line. You don't even see this line means you are not even configured the service in this particular node. That is the meaning of that. So if you configure the service, definitely you will see the line, but sometimes you will see the status as error. Sometimes you will see the status as joining failed. Joining failed means you have configured it properly, but somehow due to some firewall issue or due to some port not opened, due to some or other reasons, it is not able to connect properly. Even though you did the changes in the setEnv.bat, but still in the backend, due to some network issue or something, it is not able to connect properly. At that time, you can ask for a restart or you can ask for the network administrator to fix that.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what you have to
Ravi,
do. Then first
yeah.
step of thing is you need to ask for restart.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry,
So
someone else.
Ravi, in real-time scenario, generally this Tomcat and everything setup is done by the administrator people, right? Not the
Yeah,
who
not
is developing the
us,
things.
but from our side, we need to tell what you see. This thing generally done by the LDA, lead decisioning architect. Okay, but
Okay.
it is always good that you also know that. But this is
Okay.
taken care by lead decisioning architect. Your job will
Okay.
be directly working in the implementation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suppose if the everything is done in the server side in the real-time scenario, but still the status is showing as a fail. So we are requesting to
No, no,
admin.
you don't need to do anything. You just need to mention to restart the server to your admin people.
Okay.
Okay, so they will only fix it. Or you can raise an SR ticket. If they are also not able to fix it, you can raise an SR ticket. Provided
Okay.
you have done your configuration properly. Okay,
Okay.
how you will do? You need to verify in the admin studio whether the values are coming properly or not. For example, you are keeping some value small letter. That is also
Yeah.
wrong. Okay, you need to give it properly.
Okay.
Okay, so
So
that you
in
have.
real-time scenario, as you mentioned, like if the data is not coming correctly, so are we going to get the any kind of the status like the failure on top of the page or anything on the screen? How could we know this is
Basically,
being
see,
failed like that?
in the strategies or those places, you will see some error. Something like decisioning failed, node is not connecting properly. When you try to run some Pega decisioning topics, there you will see
Mm-hmm.
the error. Okay. Some service configuration is mismatched, like that you will see the error. So then you need to come and verify whether it is coming properly or not. So you will come to know if you are getting some errors in the strategies, and when you are working on something, you will see the errors, and then you will come to know automatically that some configuration is mismatch is there. That's what you need to come. So I
So
went to
we
the
don't need to
configure.
run any kind of tracers or anything.
No, no, no need to do anything.
Okay.
If you are not getting the expected outcome, you should also check it here. Okay. So you are trying to insert some data into the Cassandra table. You are not
Yes.
able to insert. Okay, then you will come to know, okay, this status, the service might not be running properly like that. Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Ravi.
Okay. So that is the first step of environment preparation, where you will make sure your Pega decisioning services, ADM, DDS, RTDG, real time, all those are running properly. So now what? Once my setup is completed, environment is configured with the services, what I need to do? So the next thing that you will be doing is three things. Okay, so let me start this with somewhat easily so that you can understand. Okay, let me share my notepad. Okay. Okay, so now what we have done? We have prepared the environment preparation. So we need to enable ADM, DDS, real time, RTDG, stream. All these things you need to enable. Then you will verify. Verify in Admin Studio, verify in Dev Studio. That's what you have to do, right? I'm just saying environment preparation. This is what you have to do. So how do you verify? Decisioning, decisions, infrastructure, services. Now, in case it's not running properly, if joining failed or error, ask for a server restart. That's what you have to do. Okay. So I'll
Ravi,
just share
can you
this notes
please?
also to everyone so that
Yeah.
you can remember the things.
Ravi, can you please specify the path for the admin studio as well here in the
Yeah,
notes?
sure, sure.
Thank you.
So by default, portal will be CDH only. Okay. If you log in with decisioning people, decisioning access group, by default portal will be CDH. Then you go to intelligence, prediction studio, then switch to admin studio. Okay. Then nodes. That's it. Okay. So I will save this. I'll just save this also. Yeah, every day I will share the notes also so that you can remember the things. Okay. So that is the environment preparation that we have seen. What next? So next what we need to do is we need to check few things. So we need to check few things. What are those? So the first thing that we need to check is context dictionary. Okay, that is a context dictionary. What is context dictionary here? So context, before we go to context dictionary, first of all, what is context? What is context? So the context is nothing but audience. Okay, or you can say target audience. See, for example, one business they want to promote to customers. The second business they want to promote to some leads. The third business they want to promote to the social media followers. So all these are nothing but different contexts here. Okay, all these are nothing but different contexts here. So the context is basically the target audience. So at a given point of time, you will have one primary context and multiple secondary contexts. So basically primary context means your primary audience, you can say primary targeted audience to whom you are having the main focus. Secondary context is nothing but your secondary targeted audience. Okay, secondary targeted audience. So what is the purpose of this context dictionary means before you actually start with the Pega marketing and Pega decisioning, you will actually configure the context dictionary. So what is the purpose of this means you will predefinedly say, okay, this is the table where my customers are present. This is the customer email ID column. This is the customer's phone number column. So all this information you will keep it predefined in the context dictionary. So that means, so that the Pega marketing, whenever it has to send an email to the customer, it will not ask you every time to which column I need to send the email, to which phone number I need to send the SMS. It will not ask you all those things. So directly you will configure, okay, this is my customer table. In this customer table, this is my email ID column. This is the phone number column. This is the name of the customer column. All these things you will pre-configure in the context dictionary. Along with that, you will configure what is your primary context, what is your secondary contexts. That means like leads, social media followers, all those things are secondary context. But at any given point of time, you will have only one primary context and multiple secondary context will be there. Okay. So like I'm giving you the example, primary context. For example, your customers of your business. Secondary context, for example, social media followers of your business. Okay. Now, along with this primary context and secondary context, you also have one more thing that is called associated context. So associated context means what? Associated context is nothing but the associated data of that particular context. For example, when I say customers as a primary context, associated data will be something like the customer's loan information. Okay. Something like customer ID 1 is having personal loan. Customer ID 2 is having home loan, right? All this information. Same way, like for example, customers credit card table, credit cards. So that you call it as associated data. So associated data means the associated information of that particular context, you call it as associated context. So overall, your picture will be like this, something like this. So customers, this is my primary context. Under that, okay, keep like this. Loans, whatever the credit cards that they have, etc. So this is what? This is my primary audience, which is primary context. All these are associated context. So what we are doing here is we are predefinedly setting, okay, this is my targeted audience. This is the table where my audience records are there. And these are the list of tables with which I have joined my customer table. That means in this also you'll have customer ID. This also you'll have customer ID. Okay. But here you'll have the loan information, like customer ID 1 is having personal loan. This is the amount he has taken. This many days his duration is there. So all these things will be there in the loan table. Same way, credit card table also. Okay. So this is my primary context and these are my associated contexts. So all this information you will predefine in the context dictionary. So that is what you do in the context dictionary. So the good thing is starting from 8.7, we have a CDH setup wizard, which will automatically create the tables, contexts, associated contexts, everything. Okay, everything will be automatically created by the wizard itself. That means you don't need to create manually a separate table, separate columns, expose that columns, all those things you don't need to do. This wizard will automatically do that. In case if you want to extend the table which is automatically created by with this wizard, you can do that. But the base version will be given to you, which you can customize according to you. That's what you can do here. Okay. Understood till here? Understood on this context dictionary? We'll see it shortly. Or let us see it and then you can.
So Ravi, I have a question here. So here you said associated context, right? So you mentioned it is loans, credit cards and all. So probably this customer is related to a bank and also these information are, and also customers age, salary, that kind of information can be part of associated context.
No, that will not be in the associated context.
Okay, just the, I mean,
just
whichever
the products you
customer
can say, the products and services the customer has taken.
Okay, the services and all. Got it. Thank you.
So the general information about customers, age, income, all those will be in the customer table. The products which they purchased, the services that they are interested to purchase, these kind of things will be in a separate table.
Associated context.
Associated table. So, yes.
So, and Ravi, here the secondary context is nothing but the media, social media. This is a communication, right?
It can be anything. It can be leads, it can be prospects, it can be social media followers. It can be any secondary context.
Yeah, basically it is a handling the communication part to reach the customers.
Yes, correct. Okay.
But so how are we going to achieve this media?
We'll see that in real time how it works. Okay. We are going to cover that. Okay. So now see, for example, accounts is also secondary context. Okay. So let us see. Yeah.
So is there any limit on the context?
Is there any limit on the context?
I mean, like 3 contexts, 4 contexts, or any particular number?
Generally, most of the business will have up to 5, but I think the limit might be 10. I believe. I am not sure. I'll confirm you on that. Okay.
So,
but generally, you don't need many contexts. Okay. You'll have.
So if we have like more than 3 contexts, so how we can decide like which is the primary context and which is the
that depends on the business. That depends on the business to whom they want to promote. Okay. So they can also promote parallelly to multiple contexts also they can promote. Okay. That also they can do. But who is the main audience? Who is the secondary audience? You need to get the information from them. Okay. Yeah. So parallelly also you can promote to different contexts also you can promote. Yeah. Okay. So that depends on the business. The business will tell you who is the primary, who is the secondary. Primary means what? That's the main source of income, right? Primary is the main source of income. Secondary people are maybe some later interest. That's the secondary. Every business will have the same way. Okay. So that we need to check with business.
So here, how we can distinguish between the secondary context, associated context?
I'll show you that. I'll show that. So in order to go to the context dictionary, you need to go to the App Studio, settings, and context dictionary. So again, the good thing is the wizard will automatically create this. But previously we used to do everything manually. Now it is automatically done. So if you go to the App Studio, so within the App Studio, you have the settings. Okay, so in the settings, you have to go. And from here, you need to go to the context dictionary. Okay, so that's what you have to do. So you see, I went to the App Studio, settings, context dictionary, and you will get the context dictionary. Okay. So here you can clearly see what is my primary context, what is my secondary context. So all these are the secondary contexts here, the prospect, right? So from prospect onwards, these are the secondary contexts. Whatever is below this account, that is a secondary context. So right now I have one secondary context and one primary context is there. So under this primary context, you have the associated data is also there. You can call it associated data, you can call it associated context, both are same. Okay, both are fine. So at a given point of time, you will have only one primary context. Now, if I want to change this primary context to some other context, I can do that. So I can say change primary and I can switch between this. Sorry, the account is the one, the secondary context. So which is account. So I can just click on apply, then this will become the primary context and this will become the secondary context. Okay. So, and when you click on this gear icon, so there you can see all the information about this context. So this is the customer. The plural name is called customers. This is the table. Okay. This is a class where the customer records are there. Everything is clearly defined here in the context dictionary. You see, this is the one. This is a full name property. Email ID property is this one. Mobile number property is this one. So that is what is mentioned here. Okay. That means whenever the campaign has to send an email to the customer, it will send to this particular column. Whenever campaign need to send an SMS to the customer, it will send in this column. So automatically, it will always refer the context dictionary to which people we need to send, what email ID we need to send, everything comes from this. When you scroll down, you have the associated data here. This is where you can see the associated data and which we will do it from the CDH portal, not from here. Okay, so that also we'll cover in the upcoming sessions. But this is where you see, you will go to the App Studio, settings, context dictionary. This is where you can see the context dictionary, which contains your primary context, secondary context, associated data. Everything will be there here. So if you go to the CDH portal, you can define a new associated data by going to the profile data sources. Again, see, we'll see in detail in the later sessions, but I'm just showing you high level. So you see, this is where you will configure the associated data here. Okay. And if you go to the profile designer, so here you will say, okay, this is my associate data under customer. So you can just simply edit and you can also add a new associated data. Right now, these are the associated data. For example, if you want to add new one, you can add this. But before that, you need to create your loan table, loan columns and everything, and you can just add it here. That's what you will do. So automatically, this will come in the context dictionary. You'll add it here, then automatically it will display in the context dictionary. Okay. So that is about this context dictionary here. That's about this context dictionary. Okay. So that is one thing. Okay. So you can ignore this. This is for the old slide.
Ravi, one query.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in future, if we want to add few more columns to the data tables, so will there be any impact?
No, there will not be any impact. Okay, so you can do that. So that's what the base version will be given to you. You can extend your columns. You can do all those things. It will automatically update the associated data. Okay.
So like there is a lot of data, we are having it in the data tables, and now we are adding new columns to the tables.
Yes.
So it has no impact, right?
It has no impact. It has no impact. You can customize as per your wish, and it is not going to impact anything. Only thing is, let us say you are changing the email ID column. Okay, let us say you are creating some separate column called email address. Right now, the email ID column is what? Right now, the email ID column is primary email, right? This is the one. You are changing it to some other property. You need to make sure that you update here also. Okay, you'll update here and you'll click on save. Then automatically everything will again reconfigure. That's what you have to do. So
Okay.
only these columns, if you are modifying, you need to update it here. Otherwise, you don't need to worry about anything if you are changing some structure and other things. Only just worry about this data only if you are changing that. Or if you are changing the associated data also, you need to update it. That means right now I'm associating the customer with all these tables, but I don't want this some of these tables, I can delete it here. Then automatically it will be deleted from context dictionary also. So that's what will happen. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Ravi, here I have a question.
Yeah, please.
So here we are adding the column names, right? To the whatever the columns we are going to be adding to the table. For example, the customer, the primary email ID and all these things.
Yeah.
Suppose so in generally in Pega, like whenever we want to update the data types, like increasing the length and everything, so we are doing the altering the databases to in order to increase the length of that particular property.
Correct. Correct.
So in CDH, like here, as you mentioned, like it is pointing to the Cassandra database.
No, CDH is not pointing. You need to separately configure it.
Yeah. So in order to, if suppose if we wanted to modify any of the increasing the length, the schema types. So
99% of the time, you will not
Mhm.
use internal Cassandra. We have a separate Cassandra tool is there, a separate software will be there. Like how you have SQL editor, right? Where you will
Yeah.
update all the columns and everything. Same way for Cassandra also separate software is there. In that software only you will update the columns, all those things you will do it. Okay. So you will not do anything in Pega.
Okay. Then the syntax is there any difference in the syntax, for
Syntax
example,
will
the
be
altering
different.
this?
Yeah, syntax will also be different. It is not MySQL. It will be a separate language. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
we'll
here
try
we
to.
don't need to expose the properties manually,
No, no.
right?
Here, if you expose, it is not going to expose in Cassandra. Here, it is going to expose the columns in Oracle database only. Okay. So Cassandra, you have to use a separate tool to do that. Okay.
Yes. So, for example, if we wanted to run a report here, reporting things. So reporting things generally we have to do the optimizing the properties, right, in order to
You have
expose.
to optimize in Cassandra and you have to do it here. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see that. We'll see that in the Cassandra sessions. Probably we'll try to cover that part. And actually, if you come to the DDS, you can just click on the edit settings. This is where you can see the Cassandra data details. Okay. Right now it is connected to some external Cassandra cluster. This is a host name. This is a port name. This is a username and this is a password. So like this, you should also create a separate Cassandra database and you should provide all those details here. Then you can connect Pega with Cassandra. Okay. Then you can connect Pega with Cassandra. So that's how you have to do. Okay. Yeah, we'll try to cover that up in the coming sessions, but this is where you see the Cassandra details. The DDS will always point to Cassandra database. In order to insert, delete, anything that you want to do with Cassandra, you need to make sure DDS is running properly. Okay, so I'll just quickly show you how to run the setup wizard, and from tomorrow we'll see the new application. So I'm just going to the CDH and I'll go to the new application. So here what you need to do, you need to say build from existing application. That's what you have to do. And then here you need to select the CDH as the option. That's what you have to do here. Okay, so we'll see this in the tomorrow session. So I need to jump to another call. But tomorrow we are going to see the new application and we are going to start with the first application that we are going to learn from tomorrow. Okay, any questions before we drop?
One doubt, Ravi, like this account is a secondary context or associated context? I'm just trying to.
Account here is the secondary context.
Okay, but it was mentioned in associated also account JSON something.
No, that is different actually. That is
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let us continue tomorrow and please go through the recording and yeah, let's go through tomorrow. Thank you.
Sorry, Ravi, I just have a question. So
Yeah.
as you said, like the secondary context is nothing but the media or anything like the interaction communication channels, right? But
Yeah,
account
in
is
this particular application, they kept it that way. But general scenario is what I told you. Okay. But here
so account is a product, right?
account is a product, but they have kept in such a way that it is a secondary context in this particular application. But I'm telling you, general scenario. General scenario, it will be like social media followers, leads. These kind of context will be the secondary context. Okay. Yeah, this is just a sample application, so they did not configure in that way. So we will configure in that way. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let us meet tomorrow then. See you all. Thank you.